Hello viewers, welcome to Innovate Teaching channel. In today's video, we are going to discuss about the concept of Nyaya philosophy. So by this class, you are all going to learn what is Nyaya philosophy, what are the dimensions of Nyaya philosophy, what are the aspects of Nyaya philosophy, and what is the epistemology of Nyaya philosophy. Finally, what are the educational implications of Nyaya philosophy. First, let us define what is Nyaya philosophy. Gautama Akshapada was the first to systemize the Nyaya Sutras about the 2nd century BC. Then, what is Nyaya? As Nyaya is derived from the Sanskrit word, it literally means justice, rules, method or judgment. Thus, Nyaya philosophy is the philosophy which deals with all these justice, rules, methods and judgments. The profound work done by Gautama is in the form of 521 Nyaya Sutras, which were divided into 5 adhyayas, like 5 books. Each adhyaya consists of 2 sections, which is also called ahnikas, like 2 chapters. Now, let us discuss what are the dimensions of Nyaya philosophy. The Nyaya philosophy can be understood comprehensively under 4 dimensions. What are the 4 dimensions, friends? They are the theory of knowledge, the theory of physical world, the theory of individual self and liberation, the theory of God. Next, let us discuss what are the aspects of Nyaya philosophy. This Nyaya philosophy can be an elaboration of 16 philosophical issues or aspects. They are Pramana, Prameya, Samsaya, Prayojana, Drishtanta, Siddhanta, Avayana, Tarka, Nirnaya, Vada, Jalpa, Vitanda, Hetva Bhasa, Chala, Jati, Nigrahasthana. These 16 are the philosophical issues of Nyaya philosophy. By this, we are going to discuss one by one in detail. The first aspect is Pramana. It is knowing things truly, which includes all the sources of knowledge. We have several sources of knowledge, right? Like common sense, intuition, beliefs, tradition, personal experience, authority, reason, logic, scientific methods, so on. So this Pramana deals with sources of knowledge. Second aspect is Prameya. It is an object of true knowledge. According to Nyaya philosophy, the objects of true knowledge are considered as totally 12 objects of true knowledge. Self, Atma, body, Sharira, senses, Indriya, sensible qualities, Artha, cognition, Buddhi or Gnana, and apprehension, Upalabdhi, mind, Manas, activity, Pravritti, which is vocal, mental and bodily activities. Mental defects, dosa, which may be raga, attachment, dvesha, hatred, moha, infatuation, rebirth, pratyabhava, pleasure and pain experiences, phala, suffering, dukkha, liberation from suffering. Liberation means freedom. Freedom from suffering is Apuvaga. Now again come with the major aspects of philosophy. Third aspect is Samsaya, doubt. It is a state of uncertainty. Prayojana, work to attain desirable or avoid undesirable. Drishtanta, undisputed fact or general fact. Siddhanta, doctrine, that means certain. Avayana, any of the 5 propositions of syllogism. Syllogism is a deductive argument. Tarka, it is a hypothetical argument. Nirnaya, certain knowledge through legitimate methods. Legitimate means conform to the rules or law. Vada, discussion with the help of pramanas and tarka. Pramana means knowledge. Vada, prativada, these are arriving at truth. Vitanda, the opponents do not establish themselves, instead refute others or exponent. Hetva basa, appears as a reason but in reality not a valid reason. Chala, kind of unfair reply to contradict a statement, means false to a statement. Jati, unfair reply based on false analogy. In other words, it is a futile argument. Nigrahasthana, it is misunderstanding about one's own or others' party statements. It means defeat in the debate. So by this we have discussed all the 16 philosophical aspects, right? Next, let us move on with epistemology of Nyaya philosophy. What is epistemology, friends? It is a philosophical study of the nature or origin of the theory of knowledge. Let's discuss. The theory of reality of Nyayikas. Who are these Nyayikas? They are Nyaya scholars, the scholars of Nyaya philosophy. The theory of reality of Nyayikas is dependent on the theory of knowledge. The acceptable or approved sources of knowledge according to Nyaya system of philosophy are four. One is perception, Pratyaksha. Second one is inference, Anumana. Third one is comparison, Upamana. Fourth one is testimony, Shabda. Let's discuss one by one. First theory of knowledge is perception. It can be defined as a definite cognition which is produced by sense, through our senses, by object contact, and it is compulsory true. For example, I perceive an object or a thing. That means I see a fruit. My eye is in contact with that fruit and I am sure of that fruit is in before me. This is the case, an example which depicts definite cognition and it is a true perception. But in case of a distant object, it means the object which is at some meter distance, the perception is false and it is an indefinite cognition. See, this is another example of false perception. One person argues it as 6, one person argues it as 9. But correct statement is known when the truth is proved. Perception is again subdivided as ordinary, extraordinary, external and internal. Ordinary, laukika. It is a direct sense contact with the object through visual, lakshya, auditory, strautra, tactual, sparshana, gustatory, rasana, olfactory, granaja, mental, manasa. Along with the savikalpa, determine explicit knowledge, nirvakalpa, indeterminate the primary perception, pratyabhijna, recognition of some object. The second category is extraordinary, alaukika, opposite to ordinary laukika, not direct through our senses. It is other to unusual medium, like samanya lakshana, perfection of universal nature of things. Example, perceiving manhood. Jnana lakshana, which is basically sense of touch qualities built perceived through sight. Ice looks cold, fire looks hot. Yogaja, perceived through supernatural way. Yoga abhyasa. And the second major categories are external. Bahya, which are through sensation. Organs of smell, ghrana. Organs of taste, rasana. Organs of sight, kaksab. Organs of touch, tvak. Organs of hearing, strotra. Internal category comes under antendriya. It is not by material elements. Bhutas, through mind or manas, perceives the quality of soul like desire, ichha, aversion, dvesha, willing, prayatna, pleasure, sukha. The second source of Nyaya philosophy is inference, Anumana. Anumana is composed of two words, Anu and Mana. Anu means after, Mana means knowledge. A cognition or knowledge is literally Anumana, which follows some other knowledge. For example, the hill is fiery because it smokes. And whenever it smokes, it is fiery. Here we start with the perception of smoke in the hill to the knowledge of existence of fire in the hill. And that is based on our previous knowledge. Thus, from this example, it can be understood that inference is a process of reasoning in which we pass from apprehension of some mark. Apprehension means understanding. So we pass from understanding of some mark which is called linga to that of something else by establishing a concomitant relation between the two, between the fire and smoke. We build a concomitant relation. Concomitant means associated or accompanied relation. It is called vyapti. From this inference, according to Dr. B.N. Seal, he stated this as Anumana. Inference is the process of ascertaining not by perception or by direct observation but through instrumentality or medium of mark, linga, that a thing possesses a certain character. The process of ascertaining means the process of making sure of, not by perception it means. Not through direct observation but through other medium, instrumentality. From the first example we have arrived at the inference, fire, which we have not perceived. That means an invariable relation between smoke and fire. From this example, we can categorize it as subject and object. Subject is hill, paksa, which is a minor term. Object is fire, sadhya, and major term smoke, linga, which is a middle term. The third source of Nyaya philosophy is upamana or comparison. According to Nyayikas, this is not accepted by other system of Eastern philosophies. as a separate valid source of knowledge. Upamana is nothing but acquiring knowledge about something by comparing it with the similarities of the other familiar things. For example, a child or a man recognizes Gavaya as similar to cow and remembers the description by acquiring knowledge that the Gavaya is an animal resembling the cow. Usually, it is a wild animal. Its habitat is forest, but both looks similar. Another example we can say in day-to-day life is crow and quail. Both are similar, but their characters are different. The fourth source of knowledge is Shabda, testimony. According to Nyayikas, Shabda is the statements or sentences which comes from a trustworthy person, authoritative texts or sources. Shabda could be perceptible, drastanta, where evidence is given about the knowledge of a person, saints or scriptures. Shabda could be imperceptible, adrastanta, supersensible realities given by scientists or saints' preachings. Example, atoms, ether, electrons, vitamins, etc. Shabda could be laukika, which is not acceptable by Sankhya philosophy as pramana. It is a secular and not all valid. It is the testimony of the human beings, may be true or false. Shabda could be vaidika. This pramana, it means this source of knowledge, is not accepted by both Sankhya philosophy and Yoga philosophy. It is scriptural and it is perfect and infallible. We usually know that group of alphabet forms a word. Group of words together form a statement or sentences. According to Nyayikas, a sentence should have a logical structure and should consist of words which convey some meaning. According to them, an intelligible sentence consists of 4 conditions. They are Akansha, Yogyata, Sannidhi, Tatparya. Akansha is expectancy, the quality of words and interdependency of words which convey a complete meaning. Yogyata, it is a mutual fitness of the words. Sannidhi, it is asakti, the proximity between the words of a sentence. Tatparya, the meaning conveyed by a sentence. All these characters build up a good sentence. Finally, let us conclude this video with educational implications of Nyaya philosophy. Nyaya philosophy is basically a system of philosophy which laid more focus on the acquisition of knowledge through different sources or pramanas. It is a major contribution to the knowledge acquisition process in this Nyaya philosophy. The very insights for the education could be: number 1, aim to provide the logical thinking skills, rigorous criticism. Rigorous means a careful criticism. Science of reasoning, science of critical study, to provide more importantly the liberation as the ultimate aim. It means freedom. To give freedom is the ultimate aim of this Nyaya philosophy. Absolute cessation of pain and suffering. Cessation means to stop of this pain and suffering. Acquire the knowledge of reality, that means self, to solve the problems of life, logic and epistemology. The second educational aim of Nyaya philosophy is curriculum. It can be understood from 4 basic concepts of philosophy. The emphasis laid on learning about various sources of knowledge are: physical world, which is through scientific approach about the individual self; process of liberation, process of giving freedom; testimony of Vedas. Testimony is the formal written of Vedas. Theology related to the existence of God. The third educational implication of Nyaya philosophy are methods. According to Nyayikas, the philosophy explicitly focus on the following obtaining knowledge: perception, inference, upamana, shabda, recitation, lecture, logical, analytical, meditation. Finally, the fourth educational implication of Nyaya philosophy is discipline. Self-discipline, freedom, spirituality and liberation through freedom of self-teacher should provide all the necessary language to develop logical thinking and rigorous criticism. So, thank you so much friends. If you like this video, don't forget to like, share, subscribe and comment.
Click the bell icon to get latest notifications.
Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe and comment. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned to our Innovate Teaching channel.